2020 has been one hell of a year. World War III almost happened, we almost ran out of toilet paper, and Christmas was basically cancelled in the UK. But even with the disaster that is 2020, there's been an amazing amount of great games that have been released, even though most of them did come with their controversies and disputes. And within the whirlpool of incredible games, I'm going to pick one to claim as my game of the year. And let me make it clear, that is my game of the year and not the game of the year. But before I do choose my game of the year, I do want to take the time to talk about some of the worthy contenders. And for the sake of argument, I didn't want to include Cyberpunk, because even though it's an incredible game, I experienced so many crashes that most of the time it just completely took me out of the experience. But onto some of my personal runner-ups of the year, and starting off is another game that attracted a lot of controversy, The Last of Us Part 2. Even though people enjoyed piling on this game for taking what is safe to call a bold move in its storytelling, this is still a beautiful game. Don't get me wrong, I was freaking pissed as hell when but it wasn't enough for me to hate the game completely, because there's still an amazing story for you to experience that handled quite a lot of social issues very well. And also no one can deny that this game looks extraordinary, and the gameplay is just as good. But on the other side of the spectrum we have Fall Guys, which came at the best time when I was getting really tired of lockdown and torture limitations, and here came this really laid back game that you can just play. Sometimes it's nice to have a silly game to fall back on. Granted, that lasted about 2 months until I started frustrating myself over the infallible trophy, in which case I put the controller down and never picked it back up again. And even though Fall Guys annoyed me with their overhaul of team games that would cost you a victory because of the obvious affliction of idiots in the game, I was happy just to play it and release the endorphins while I could. Not too long ago the PS5 was released, and shamefully, in true 2020 fashion, there was an underabundance of stock. And most of the stock that was sold was bought by bots and scalpers on the internet, which really sucks. I was really lucky that I was able to get one, and with it came some really cool games, but the two that stood out to me the most was Miles Morales and Demon's Souls. I was intrigued with Demon's Souls for the reason that I never played the original on the PS3, and it's also the only Soulsborne game that I hadn't played at the time. So for me it was the sense of completing the saga and knowing that I never have to touch another From Software game again. Until Elden Ring comes out. Miles Morales was one of my favourite games of the year, and the fact it was released around Christmas time whilst also being set at Christmas gave it such a cool feeling when playing it. Granted, I won't be playing this game any other time that isn't Christmas, it just wouldn't feel right. You wouldn't watch Christmas classics like Home Alone and Die Hard any other time of the year, so I'm not making any exceptions for Miles Morales. But before I talk about my actual game of the year, I just want to take a quick moment just to show some of the other games that came out this year that I haven't mentioned in the video, but are still awesome games.
Well, don't tell me you don't recognise your old pal Vex. You know, bringer of nightmares, master of the uproar.
But my genuine game of the year that I think tops all of these is Final Fantasy VII Remake. People might not like my choice being a remake of an old game, but I don't care, because I never played Final Fantasy VII on the PS1. There are so many reasons why this made it on the top of my list, so I'll break it down. Number 1, the music. An easy point, the music is so freaking cool. From the opening to Sephiroth. Do I need to say more? No, I don't think I do. Number 2, the art style. When I say this, I don't mean the way Cloud and Tifa are animated, no, I mean the background. The backgrounds in this game are static hand-drawn images that look stunning, and I only just realised why I like this so much the other night. And that's because it reminds me of Star Wars. The charming nature of things looking hand-drawn give me a sense of nostalgia. And of course this might not give everyone the same feelings, but for me, I loved it. Number 3, an obvious one again, but the combat is awesome. I love the strategic nature of being able to pause the real-time combat to assess situations and figure out weaknesses of enemies and exploiting them. Again, some people didn't like the fact that they didn't pick between turn-based combat and real-time combat, but I mean, I've never played a game that does this, so I thought it was really cool. Number 4, Rude. I've said this in my Final Fantasy VII video, and I'll say it again. I think Rude is so freaking cool. Everything about him. His never-ending supply of sunglasses, his deep voice, and again, the music that goes with him and the rest of the Turks.
Cloud, leave him be. Rude's not a bad person, really.
No, I'm not bad. But like it or not, I sometimes have to do bad things.
And my last point is of course the story. Again, I never played the original and I'm not playing on it till I finish the remake series. I know that there's story beats that are different from the two versions, but I'm hooked already. I don't really know where the story is going apart from some spoilers that I was aware of before the remake even existed, but even with that I don't care because I just want to experience the story for what it is. And that's my favourite game of 2020, and also my last video of the year. I just want to thank everyone for all the support that they've gave me this year, and hopefully 2021 is even better for all of us. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, and to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And have a happy new year.